Went to my dentist. I flossed my teeth because I want to smile. I don't want these choppers to go. My mother used to always tell me, son, because hers is falling out. Son, when he pop them in, just leave her teeth on the counter and stuff. Yeah, she had partials, you know. She ain't here now. She going on to be in heaven, so, you know, I can say it now. If she was still living, I couldn't say this. I'd be in trouble forever. But, you know, I remember she used to always tell me, but you know you don't think it's going to happen to you. And I fooled around and didn't take care of my teeth for a minute, you know, didn't floss and didn't rinse and stuff. And didn't, you know how you fool around, you go to bed at night and you sit there and you say, oh, I'll brush in the morning. Fall asleep. See, all you got to do is go to one of the good dental appointments and find out they tell you, well, you got to, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, your teeth are 9.5 about to fall out of your mouth. And you got plaque everywhere and everything, and you start hearing that stuff. Some of you going to brush when you leave church. I know you're going to go home and brush now because you didn't brush this morning. You just threw some water in there and ran out the door. People do that. I'm not trying to be funny. Listen to me. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't say that because I have been guilty of going to bed at night. All of us have done it. You just never heard a preacher say this. All of us are guilty of ignoring the basic things in life. But when I went to the dentist and was praying because he told me bad news, then I was praying to God. I made the assumption, and you can hear God says, temple. You're making an assumption that I'm going to take care of your teeth for you. You're making an assumption that I'm going to give you money. You're making an assumption I'm going to keep your marriage together. You're making an assumption. You make a lot of assumptions, and you put this on me. I'm not trying to be a shock jock and say things to shock you. I'm simply saying we are guilty of making assumptions. Right now in this economy, we're all saying, how could we not know? We made assumptions. And every now and then, if we're not careful in life, we will make assumptions over and over again, and the simplest areas of life. Here's why. Let me tell you why I use this tooth example is because it was in the dentist's office that a profound thing happened to me. I became motivated to at least start paying attention to the basic things in my life. It's the fundamental temptation to not stretch your body in the morning. Your back will hurt more if you don't stretch. And I'm praying for God to heal me. He says, you didn't even try. You make this assumption that I'm responsible, that somehow all of heaven should run to your rescue. But you don't do the basic fundamental things. You assume that your health, you assume that your money, you assume that your marriage, you make these profound assumptions. You just assume, some of you young people, you just assume you're going to have money, you're going to have a great career. Your grades don't say that. Your grades don't say you're going to be able to buy anything. You're cool, you're together, you're hip with friends, but your life says you're in trouble. Your life and your attitude says you're going to jail. Your life and your attitude says you're going to be a person who's going to be so addicted and lost. Sister girl, if you don't get a hold of your attitude towards sex, you're going to get pregnant and you're going to have a baby you can't afford or some other disease you don't want for life. You're going to create a life you don't like, and it's because you're making an assumption. There's no reason for us to believe this anymore. Here's an opportunity for you to begin to say, I'm not going to make that assumption anymore. About my health, about my marriage, about my success, about my opportunities, about my friends and co-workers. I'm not going to make those assumptions anymore. Because all the things that happen to them can happen to me.